that out of the way.
We're live. Well, I thought Dakota's gonna make the introduces. He ain't gonna do it.
Well, the message popped up, said, do I allow them to record? And usually I'm with you, so I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and allow that
Live
shit.
Sports. This guy, I'm pointing to him down here. You can't see him where I do. We got Zach with Sooey Supply Company. What's going on, man?
Hi guys. Hi fellas. Happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Full disclosure,
Yeah, we are.
for all the listeners. Get used to a little coughing, a little hacking. It's 75 degrees in December. It's gonna happen. So we're a little sick. I'm sick. Fucking Zach's sick. Dakota's probably next.
Sicker than hell.
But
No, I'm not next.
get used to coughing. Get used to that shit. Just fucking move on.
I got my COVID shot. I can't get sick.
That's true. That's what Biden said. You can't get sick now. You're good.
Oh well.
Zach's like,
we're
oh, we're going there, huh?
Anyway, Zach, tell us a little bit about Sooey Supply Company, how it got started.
Yes.
What's going on with you right now?
Oh, it's a long, stupid story. I actually made the first Sooey Supply shirt back in 2018, I think it was, when they dropped the pop fly to lose to Oregon State College World Series. I made it before that, but it was it was a baseball shirt. It had all their faces on it. It couldn't have been any less. I could not have ever sold it without it being, getting in all kinds of trouble, especially at the time. But I ended up with those things sitting in a box in my garage down here in Florida for a while before my wife ended up putting them out by the curb because I ended up not being able to do anything with them. But I guess took a little hiatus from that up until really I got back into it after the football season started going as well as it did. I was actually in the hospital with COVID for week 1 when we played Rice. And I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, this is going to suck. So I'm in the hospital. I'm watching this college football and I hate every bit of it. And then I got out of the hospital, saw the next few games. And the Texas game is really when I started getting back into it pretty deep because I was able to see that, the perception, the fan base and everything, was really, we weren't supposed to be this good, this fast.
Right.
So I knew that this would be able to, capitalize on something like that and get back into doing what I like. Cause I've been making shirts for 5 or 6 years now. I started a brand that did Florida stuff. I made some Gator stuff and some Jaguar stuff down here, but I never got the following that I have now with this. And this is the most successful thing I've done to this point. And pretty much my favorite thing I've ever done to this point because I've got a vested passion in it, if you will. So it was after that Texas game, I started reaching out to guys like AJ Green and pretty much anybody that would listen to me. And AJ Green was the first one that responded with anything.
Huge
and,
AJ Green fans here on the show. Fucking huge.
Yeah.
You know this.
I heard something about that.
Oh,
yeah,
this.
So yeah, AJ was really, it was AJ. I don't remember if it was AJ Green first or Rudell Krim, but I started doing some stuff I started talking with Rudell Krim. I sent him a couple of shirts, and him and AJ were the first. He's a former Razorback, obviously.
Yeah.
Between him and AJ, I started making some stuff for them, and also there was one night I was sitting here and I was on my phone looking at Twitter on my on my business page, which I didn't have hardly anything at the time.
Yeah,
and somebody was like, somebody should make a hog Twitter shirt. And I'm like, okay, so I can do that. And so I did it. I made and then the people that started flying like crazy. Yeah. And then that's when the following really started going up. And, it was like the stuff that I was making before, I had a couple of really good selling things, really good selling Jags thing and stuff. But like most of the shit, my friends and family wouldn't even buy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so now I'm doing this. All my best customers are people I've never met, don't even know what I look like, and it's to say that I'm thankful for how this is going is really understating it, and it's gotten it to the point where my wife's like, yeah, let's move to Arkansas so we can really pursue this in a real way where we can be up there and I can be, among the guys that I'm working with, be around them, get to be with them and, work with them face to face, be able to take pictures and get my stuff, hang on one second. What are we? Never mind. Sorry about that. Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah. So
well, if they barge through the door and tell you to get down, they're there.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, we're looking to move to Northwest Arkansas after my boy is done with his first year in school. We didn't want to pull him out in the middle of school, and we could use the time to to save the money and everything like that.
Yeah,
anyway. So, but I will be I'll be in Arkansas the last week of February. Hopefully getting together with some people and making some money moves. Not unlike Cardi B.
There we go.
I've been compared to Cardi B on and off. The business ventures and things like that. Me and Cardi B have a lot more in common than most people would think.
Let's I won't even ask questions about that.
I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna need some elaboration.
Hey, well, congratulations for official COVID survivor. You got your milestone.
I am I
Thankfully you pulled through.
I'm afraid that it's back again to finish the job, but we've done it once, we'll do it again. Yeah, COVID was that was terrible. That was awful. And I hope that I don't have it again because that was really bad. Lost a bunch of weight though, which never hurt anybody.
Right.
It didn't take long for me to put it back on because after not eating for a week and feeling like I can't, it wasn't hard to start eating again. I think
everything finally sounds good again.
Oh my God. All I was doing was drinking water and I wasn't eating anything. And boy, once I started eating again, I remembered what happiness was like. It's one of my favorite
I remember what happened.
Good
You got family? You got family and stuff up here in Arkansas or what?
Oh, most of my family is in Arkansas. I'm from Little Rock originally,
okay.
But I've been here since I've been here almost 20 years now. But yeah, I moved down here when I was like 10 or 11. No, 10 or 11, and I went to Arkansas as a preferred walk-on, and I didn't make it to Arkansas as a preferred walk-on. I got kind of lazy over that summer and figured, you know what, I'm just going to go to school up there. And then that lasted about a semester. Racked up some debt, racked up a couple of citations one night that were disorderly conduct and public intoxication.
I see. Now you're talking our language.
That'll happen.
Now you're talking our language.
Yeah, they told me, they said, and it was right before the end of the semester. They said, well, if you want to pick your classes for next semester, you got to do this much community service, this and that. And I'm like, what if I just don't do that and don't come back? So anyway, I ended up back in Florida after that, and been here almost ever since. I moved back for a little while. I lived in Jacksonville with my dad, and I said, well, this is enough to make anybody not want to come back here because Jacksonville sucks. No offense to anybody from Jacksonville, but
all offense to anybody from Jacksonville.
Offense to Urban Meyer.
Offense to Urban Meyer fans everywhere.
Oh no, I'm talking about Jacksonville, Arkansas.
Okay. Jacksonville is not.
No, that wasn't a lot of fun, but
I'll never disgrace my homeland.
Well, it was there. I started writing for. I was a writer in my time too. When I lived there, I was writing for ArkansasFight.com.
God dang, boy, done a little bit of everything.
Yeah, a little bit of everything. I'm a jack off all trades all day long. Before this, I had a podcast I was going to start where it was actually going to be a 2-man booth like this, but I would play both men, and that was going to be a lot of fun.
That would be extremely difficult, I feel like.
Dude, I had the first episode written and ready to go. My buddy Justin, who I'd done most of my recording and stuff with, we were ready to get this thing going. And then I got sick and it derailed everything. But out of that came me going back to working by myself and doing the Sooey Supply stuff. So when you are all by yourself and you can't see anybody do anything anyway, you got plenty of time to work on, what you can. And for me, it was this. So
shit, as soon as I bought that KJ Jefferson hoodie, I was like, oh, I'm about this company. This shit is sick.
Yeah. I really took kind of I knew I probably shouldn't have done that because I didn't have any kind of a relationship with KJ at the time. But I'm like, this is gonna sound pretty good. And if and when the time comes that he wants to work together, we can reconcile those differences. So fingers crossed on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
What are your thoughts on the Penn State game? You think it's still gonna happen?
Oh yeah, I haven't really seen anything other than I hadn't seen anything from anybody official saying that it wasn't going to happen. I just
all I'm seeing is Arkansas fans saying that Penn State.
And I don't know where that would have come from.
Today that they were in Tampa. so it should be good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
We're good then. We're straight.
Yeah, I just kept looking at that, and I'm like, there's nothing coming from anywhere outside of Twitter rumors that this is even
That's all
thing. And it's like, where do these things even start?
Hog Twitter.
So,
Hog Twitter.
yeah, I mean, it had to be, but I just wonder who in what capacity says what, and someone runs with it and goes, oh yeah, I heard. If it's not from anything credible, then and even half the time, if it's from something credible, I still don't, really give it a whole lot of credence until I start seeing, the things happen. I never figured it was a problem. Hell, my wife and I already got our hotel room down there, so we're going, and I can't wait.
Never been a better time to be an Arkansas fan living in Florida.
Never.
No, I went to the last bowl. I went to the Capital One Bowl when they were here. So yeah, I've pretty much seen every Arkansas bowl game here in the past 20 years, all one of them. So,
all one of them.
Yeah. So far, we're 0-1 at my times being there, but
that's
like I was
change.
telling her.
Well, this one, if it doesn't change and we lose this one, you can't go back.
Well, I don't plan on being
You're
here
bad
for
luck.
the next one. So
never again.
I'm going to go to Fayetteville, and then I'll just bring the bad luck up there.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Oh.
Get it out of there. Get it out of there.
Oh man, I think I'm gonna go drown myself in the toilet after this. I feel awful. This is terrible. So yeah, I'll bring this dark cloud of misery and bad luck up to the homestead right up front.
Favorite Razorback football player right now on the roster?
It's KJ.
Yeah.
KJ is my favorite player on the roster right now. Now, if you want to talk about people that I've, this team, it really brought me back into like when I was younger, my uncle would save me all the newspaper clippings from the Arkansas Democrat Gazette, and I'd get them. I remember this one, and it must have been like preseason thing. And it had like a write-up. I had it on my wall. It had a write-up of like everybody on the team, their pictures on it and everything. With guys like, obviously McFadden, Felix, and Peyton Hillis, but it had Sam Elijah-Butu on there, and Casey Dick, Freddie Fairchild. Malcolm Shepard is one of my favorite Razorbacks of all time. I don't know what it was about him, but at the time, I loved that guy.
Yeah.
This is like the first team in a long time because I got, you're a young person and you get to, whatever. But after I had kids and 2 jobs all the time, it was hard to keep up as hard as I used to, with the stuff. But this is the first time in a couple of years, at least, that I feel like I'm really, really, really into, I can name almost everybody on the team now at this point. If you'd asked me last year, I could have probably done pretty well. The year before that, probably not. It's really hard to fall out when there's guys like Chad, when things like Chad Morris.
Don't say his name. He who shall not be named.
Oh, we don't say that.
We don't talk about.
Oh, you said it
fucking Chad
No,
Morris.
I wasn't briefed on these things before.
You should know that.
Well, I think we blew that a long time ago. We've said his name multiple times. As long as it's never in a positive fashion.
I can't think of
Club
anything
dub
positive
did
to say
not
about
work.
the guy. That's just the lamest shit too. Like, who was like, yeah, this is cool. This is
Whoa,
really
Club
cool
Dub.
thing.
I didn't think about that.
Club dub. How come no one's done this before?
The thing is, like, he could have thought of the coolest shit possible to do after a win because he was never going to win. He could have come up with the most extravagant shit ever that we were going to do after every win. People would have no choice but to believe it because they'll never see it.
A club dub. Get out of town. But there have been times because I like to watch the games on the back porch, and unlimited minutes. Look at us go. Who do we think we are? Okay. Yeah, watching KJ has been pretty awesome stuff. And I think, especially with another year like this one, I think whether you believe the Arkansas bias or whatever that he's not included in these things, if he is as good as I think he can be, then that's not going to matter. He's going to find himself into these Heisman conversations of whatever, just because you can't argue with it. And he's going to have a chance to do that in some. We play Cincinnati week 1. That's going to be. People are going to be paying attention to that. I don't even if they get destroyed this weekend, which I think they will. He's going to have his opportunity to show who he is and what he can do, and I'm excited for it.
I'm excited to see Jaden Hazelwood.
Yeah, I think that kind of lightens the burden of missing Traylon Burks next year too, having a guy come in like that. And hopefully they can do it by committee because I think they said he had something like 60-something catches and it was 30-something more than the next highest receiver did. hopefully it can be a little bit more balanced in that way if it needs to be,
And the gap between your number 1 and 2 receiver is like 800 something yards. It's not great.
Yeah,
it's not ideal. It's not ideal. But and I've heard you guys out here talking about playing AJ at receiver, or playing playing Rocket at receiver. I don't see why you couldn't
get
do that.
AJ involved however the fuck you can. Don't just put him back. Don't put him back there just for kick returns and then never play him.
He gets back there on kick returns. Nobody returns a kick anymore because they're kicking it from wherever. They don't get returned. I got obviously I've got a personal and kind of deal with it. I want to see him succeed.
Put on that Texas A&M film and go ahead and tell me who should be.
Dude, I tell you what was so awesome about that is I was driving a cab. At that point, I was working at UPS and driving a taxi cab, and I was taking some guy like 45 minutes, and I was kind of pissed because I had to go to work early. I planned on watching most of this game. So I'm listening to they got that app or whatever. I'm listening to it on my phone and my headphones, and they're making the call. They sent AJ out to when they threw him that little screen, he took it 50 yards or whatever it was. And I'm sitting there in the van. This guy's asleep in the back seat, and I'm trying not to freak the fuck out, hollering and stuff because obviously, that's my guy. I mean, at that point, AJ was the only guy that I had done any work with, because my second guy was Cam Little, and I didn't make that shirt of his till after that game, because that's where that shirt came from, was that game. So AJ was my only guy at the time, and it was that game. I'm sitting there, I said, I got AJ fucking Green, and look at what he's doing out here. You know what I mean? So yeah, it was, to sit there. I try not to, now that I have this account with in the eyes of a bunch of different people, I try not to get on there and tweet like a fan, especially tweet like an angry fan, because like I said, I've got people that I need to be, hold myself in a different kind of regard to. But I was a little disappointed to not see AJ so much there towards the end of the year, because it seemed really like maybe after the Georgia game or a game after that, because he got in against UAPB for a lot of the fourth quarter. But I mean, that seems like the last time we saw a lot of AJ. And but I think his future is pretty bright, especially you clear that room out, because hell, there's 2 or 3 running backs coming in with this class, right? With James Joyner and the other kid, I don't want to butcher his name. Yes. There's 2 good running backs coming in. Traylon Smith has the opportunity to come back, and then you still got Dominique and AJ and Rocket, and that's a really, really crowded room. And I think, especially with, like I said before, with the receiving looking like it's going to be looking, it wouldn't hurt to get Rocket and AJ out there playing receiver, especially when they said, I mean, I don't think he wants to play receiver. He'd be doing it already. Hornsby could go out there and probably be a pretty damn good receiver. They said he's the fastest guy on the team in pads.
Yeah, who was that quarterback that we used to have that was out there? Johnson?
Robert Johnson.
Yeah, Robert Johnson.
Yeah. When they put him out as receiver, he did pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, hell, Hornsby, I don't know. I mean, I've never seen him catch that often, honestly, but they had that one double pass to get him the ball in space because he was so fucking fast. Like, anything you can do to get him out there, go for it.
Just don't. I'm gonna say it as a fan. Don't let him throw.
It'll be interesting to see. Because obviously we won't. You hope you won't need him at least until after KJ's gone, which will probably just be one more year. But with a guy out there that's that fast, you got to find a way to get him out there somewhere. But already got to the issue with the running back room being so damn crowded, and you want to get those guys as many carries as you can, at least until one of them separates themselves. Because for a while there, Dominique had separated himself, and but then there was that video of Dominique saying they put me at tight end. I didn't want to play tight end. And I'm thinking, are you sure you don't want to play tight end? Because I'm thinking, seeing some of the blocks that he's thrown, and see, because he's the biggest running back we got. I mean, whatever. I'm not a coach, and I'm not saying to do this or that, but I think he'd be a pretty damn good tight end if that's what they ended up doing. But
it was nice seeing Trey Knox get out there at tight end and have some success later on in the year.
Absolutely. And I don't know why they didn't do it. I mean, like I said, I got to be careful what I say, but we got 2 big white tight ends, and whatever, that's great. But I don't know. It seems obvious to me that maybe that should have been done sooner. I don't know. maybe he wasn't.
But
Maybe
what's cool about Trey Knox is like no matter what's going on in the game, at what point, whether we're up, whether we're way down, it's when he gets the catch, that place goes nuts. And that's like you got to have a few of those key players that when, no matter what, when they touch the ball, they put the juice back in the crowd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they love him. He's obviously a crowd favorite, and I think with a full off season of getting ready to play tight end under his belt, I think it'll be, I think he'll be fine there. But we just keep coming back to we don't know what's going on at receiver, without Traylon Burks. It'll be interesting to see in this bowl game how that looks. But I just think there's too much talent in the running back room that you got to do something with those extra guys. If they're not if you can't find plays for them out of the backfield, then put them anywhere else. You're running those damn Kendall Brown's all his crazy reverse plays and those little crazy direct snap option things he would run.
Please don't get me started.
Guys, I mean, you got guys that I think you could do that with, because like AJ is, he's got to see the field more next year. I think he will, and I'd like to see a lot more of him in this bowl game too. Hopefully, we'll see signs of what's to come next year. If they got to figure out what to do with these guys, because there's too many of them for them to be sitting on the sidelines and watching kickoffs go over their heads.
For us to sit here and talk about all the different, we almost have the conversation like we have too much talent, know what to do with it, and we talk about, we've voiced our opinions on some of Kendall Brown's decisions, but at the same time, it's like we said before, like you put up that many points and that many games consistently, like something is going right, but without Treylon, like there was times where the offense play calling got so stale, and then I was like, all right, well, let's throw a couple deep shots to Treylon, and everybody forget about the dumb decisions that I made. Not having him and having all this talent around him, like this is the year that you'll get a pretty good gauge on Kendall Brown as far as like if he is going to be what everybody thought he's going to be when he came in, or if we have a problem with his play calling.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's because it is really one of those deals where it's far be it for me to sit here and tell you how to do your job. Who am I? I'm sitting here on the back porch watching the game on my Roku stick. Like I'm not a coach. No one pays me to make these decisions. So it is easy to sit here and maybe be like, oh, but there was offensive success this year that maybe we weren't ready for. At least I know that I didn't have all my big football expectations were with the stupid Miami Dolphins this year. So when the season started and it was flopped, I was just like whatever, it's done. It's whatever. Throw all your preconceived notions out the window. And I found myself sitting there a lot of times going, what the fuck is he doing? What are we doing? Why are you doing this? Why are we doing this? But
we could have 100% been 10-2 this year. 100%.
Well, you figure with that, I mean,
the Ole Miss 2-point conversion, which I stood for, I agree. Me and Dakota were on the phone. You got to go for 2. But boy, what a stupid fucking play call. And then what was that other loss we had that we could have won?
Alabama.
Yep.
I think Auburn
on the Alabama.
I don't know what was going on with that Auburn game. I feel like that was a game we should have won too. That was just a really dumb game.
But at no point watching that game did you think like, oh, we could have done this and won. Nothing fucking worked.
Yeah. But no, we should have won those 2 games. We should have, I think, because I saw somebody, the way that play was drawn up, I think it was busted from the beginning. But I think in theory, because I think the main read was for him to hit Dominique on a shovel pass, up the middle there kind of. And I think but with KJ playing how he was playing in Mississippi like that, I think if you would just gone 5 wide and had him back there by himself,
run it,
make it happen.
Let KJ lay at the line of scrimmage. I promise you.
Well, you already watched the man jump from the 4 on the other end zone and land in the fucking end zone, and you think he can't get there from the 2?
He landed on his head, and I was
he
like,
did.
"Oh God!" I said he just gave it all for us. I said, now he's never going to play again. His neck's broke for sure. I'm like, he's totally done.
He got right up
and ran. I said, look at that man. Wow.
Fucking
I'm going, oh, yeah. Good Lord. In fact, the shirt that I made for the bowl game that I'm wearing, it's a one-off. I'll show it to you. I can't wait for this thing to get here.
I do fuck with that hat. The Backs hat. I do fuck with that.
Man, are these not the coolest? My wife got me this one and the red one for for Christmas. And
you're one of the few that's making clothes that don't look corny or like corny sayings or like,
hey,
you know what I mean? Like that is more so like what the crowd likes to see, shit like that. Like shit like KJ diving through an A. Like the shit that you're making is not corny. It's actually what we like.
Well, I appreciate that because it is real easy to get some corny shit made with the, I mean, all it takes, you get on Etsy and just look up Arkansas stuff and it's, you know, whatever. I'm not knocking anybody's grind out here, but there is some real cheesy shit out there.
Mm-hmm.
When I will be wearing this beautiful bastard at the bowl game.
Oh, fuck yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, if I ever come to an agreement with him, I'll just have to get rid of the Nike sign on there. But since I'm not making any money off that one, I'm just going to wear it around so everyone knows what the deal is. But
what the deal is.
Yeah. So, yeah, I appreciate the hell out of you because there's a lot of cheesy shit out there. And
I would go ahead if I was you and get something drawn up with that Nike sign taken off, because if he says yes and then everybody starts to hear about that one's gonna go pretty quick.
I will be the first motherfucker in line.
I would hope so because I've already made some KJ stuff that I haven't published or anything yet, but I've got some in the can just in case. Because especially with some of the things I told y'all about before the show, if I come at them with work already done, so they can see it's a lot easier to convince them to whatever it is, especially because I'm not. What's that?
Wait till the fan base sees the shit that you got coming up in the works. I mean, Jesus Christ, people are gonna shit.
I hope so because I'm ready, man. It's this is what, like I said, I've been making shirts and stuff like this for a long time, but this is what I want to build my empire on, for the sake of my family. This is what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I want to open a brick and mortar store, multiple if I can, but I want to eventually I want to print all the shirts myself. I want to have them done locally and, all that stuff. Because right now I don't have the means to do that. I do have this heat press right here next to me that I borrowed from my friend a couple weeks ago that hopefully I'm going to print about 40 or 50 shirts that'll be available exclusively at the bowl game from my tailgate location. But eventually I want to do everything by hand and ship everything myself and add a little, small business personal touch to it, and that's another selling point that I try to use, is that when I try to present myself as a company online, you know what I mean? I'm not a company. I'm one guy. My wife helps me keep up with financial stuff, money, where that goes to the guys and goes back into savings and whatever else. But I'm one guy. I do all the designs. I handle all the customer service. Dude, with this Grant Morgan drop, I'm answering emails every single day. Like, do you know if my stuff's gonna be here by Christmas? And I'm like, well, when did you order it? He goes, yesterday. I'm like, well, tomorrow's Christmas, so probably not. Like, I'm answering emails every day on this stuff, and I'm like, we got to get big enough to where I don't have to answer the emails anymore because that shit makes me anxious. And it almost always ends up as a positive experience because I try to be prompt and I try to be, as customer friendly as humanly possible. But the shit just makes me really, really anxious. I deal with some anxiety pretty bad sometimes. And answering these emails lately is the thing that really, really triggers me the most. So anyone out there listening with an email, just be patient. I promise I will get to you and things will be all right.
Yeah, you keep doing the shit the way that you're doing it. I think you have no problem with that.
Well, if you can get to, like you're saying, your end goal being a one or multiple brick and mortar stores. If you can have a brick and mortar store in Fayetteville that is not confined to what the school puts out, so like you have all the Razorback stores that have all the same shit, and then you have like Alumni Hall that has some current event type stuff, but all your stuff is like coming off of games, big moments, player specific stuff like that. Like that's the shit that is unique that I think is the draw for what you're trying to do. And if you can have that stuff in store, people can walk in and take it all in at the same time.
That's big time.
Leave you in good shape.
And that's what I think is the coolest stuff about, we all like to sit and watch sports, whether we're really even watching it or we're just sitting here fucking off or whatever, but it's those big moments that happen, KJ jumping over those guys or whatever. If you can find a way to, that's all about striking while the iron's hot because people remember that and I'm going to remember that forever.
Yeah, right.
People that it's those big moments you want to capitalize on. And I get a lot of my. I'm big into wrestling. I'm a stupid moron, booger eating retard when it comes to that kind of thing. But
Oh yeah,
I'm wearing my "Stun the World" Kevin Owens shirt right now.
there you go.
And I take a lot of, because wrestling is all about, the big moments. And obviously it's all, stage. It was supposed to happen that way. But you can't write what KJ did in Mississippi. You know what I mean? You can't, that's not something you can make up and script sometimes. So when these things happen the way that they do, to capitalize on them, that's and I make the stuff that I want to wear. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Half the stuff don't come in my size. You know what I mean? But one day they will.
One day.
Well, what's cool. The cool part about this whole thing to me is like you're gonna have like KJ jumping through the A, whatever, any design you come up with, and then you're gonna move on to the next big play, the next tournament, the next iconic moment, and then 10, 15 years down the road, you're gonna have people that pull that shirt out and put it on. I'm like, oh shit, I remember that.
Yep.
And then you just go back down the rabbit hole of all these crazy moments, and they just happen to have a shirt and you show up at a party, starts the conversation.
Right. And I whatever people take out of it, that's great. I hope that by then they've got some new stuff of mine, so that I wear just all the classics, if you will. But like I said, I make stuff that I think is cool that I would want to wear and put it on much more attractive people, because nobody wants to, say, yeah, this looks great. Look at that. Look at them go. I wish that I'd come up with this. Hat, because the hats I'm able to make are not near as quality as this thing is. These are awesome.
Yes.
This is Foxy Tees, and they're in Arkansas somewhere. I'm not exactly sure. This is definitely an unpaid. They don't even follow me, so this is definitely an unpaid shout out for them.
Foxy Tees.
Foxy Tees.
I know that guy. I've been to his house.
Hey,
That's a long time ago. Yeah, that's crazy. I knew like back when his only shirts were shirts that said Foxy Tees across.
Right. Yeah,
that's cool.
My stuff that sells the least or anything that says Sooey Supply across the front, because I'm not Nike and I'm not this or that or whatever. But yeah, I'm hoping that one day people will just want to buy a shirt that says Sooey Supply Company across the front, because it's such a big and iconic brand to the deal.
Well, see, that's the thing. You take your main selling point, you put it on the front, and then right across under the back collar or something, you put Supply. That way everybody behind it.
Oh yeah. Sometimes so good business plan or not, I left Sooey Supply off some of the shirts, like the Vanilla Gorilla John Ridgway shirts. There was a whole lot on those shirts. I didn't want to crowd it up with just me being a self-responsible, because those shirts sold like crazy, especially to Illinois. A lot of the stuff came from Illinois, where he's from. That's another one of my favorite guys on the team, because and all of them have been really, really cool to work with. And it's like I tell all of them, I'm just a fan. At the end of the day, I'm just a fan. I used to have you guys' faces all up on my wall from the newspaper clippings and stuff like that. And now I talk to you, at least every other day about, this and that and the other. So being able to do this has been it's still pretty surreal every time I get, a new agreement or whatever. Because I got 6, if you count Grant Morgan, which was a one-off deal, we're only doing that till the bowl game, 7 guys on the team right now. Not to fillet myself here, but I'm pretty sure there's not a brand like mine that's got that, outside of like Walmart or whatever, that's got that many guys on deals like these. And I've been pretty lucky so far that it's just been a pretty easy DM conversation that transformed into this. I've had to deal with a couple of agents, which I'm still getting used to. But as far as it goes, it's been pretty easy peasy stuff, and every day I go to sleep thinking, I can't believe this is what you're doing. And I try to immerse. I listen to as many Arkansas sports podcasts as I can, just to be surrounded by the shit like all day. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to be living and breathing this stuff in a way that that keeps me thinking all day about it and what to do next. And whatever. So I love this shit. I say it all the time. I tweet, I love this shit all the time, because I do love this shit. And I'm very, very thankful to be where I'm at right now. And to the fucking moon, baby. We're doing this. So get on this train now.
Yeah, it's fucking exciting to see. Pretty much over fucking night, it was over. Here's this new account. Here's this dude's got like 1,100 and something followers in a week here. This dude,
I'm sitting there
lying.
I'd never had 1,100 followers on anything ever, on anything before. So that's it's so crazy to me.
There's a reason for it, man. Everybody loves your shit.
What gets me is I don't know any of these people. You know, they don't owe me no favors. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like I said, I'm just incredibly grateful for all of it. And
Absolutely.
hopefully we got nowhere to go.
I hope you get down here. I hope you get down here now. You get your move done, whatever. You get down here, you go to some games next year, and you just see people wearing your shit everywhere that you have no idea who they are.
Man, I'm telling you, when I've got such ambitions for when I do get up there. I mean, you know, it's going to take a lot to open up a store or whatever, but I plan on still running the operation, at least on a more personal. Hopefully by then I can have my own stuff, at least printed locally or do it myself. But man, I'm trying to host a tailgate party at every home game, you know, have a booth selling at every home game. If I'm even allowed to do that, I don't know. That's just more stuff I got to look into, but I'm trying to be as immersed in the fan base and the people as I possibly can. And especially once I'm there, I'm around it all the time.
How about this?
Hopefully.
How about we do this right now? How about we say you get your tailgate party set up, you get, you know, everything you want. How about we go and record a live podcast at one of your tailgates sometime? That'd be cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, come on and do it. We'll do it. It'll be so much fun. And I just have to just keep remembering that at these tailgates, I can't behave as I normally would at a tailgate, or nobody will want to do this anymore. So, like, you know, right now I am sitting here very sick, but I'm also sitting here without wife or children, and the sickness is not going to stop me from staying pretty drunk most of the time that they're gone. But right now there's business to tend to. So later though, I still got Rolling Rocks left over, baby. Rolling Rock, ride the green pony.
There we go.
Absolutely.
You just keep fucking killing it, dude. You know we'll be next in line to buy whatever the fuck you push, because it's always fucking sick. Y'all make sure to go fucking follow Sooey Supply Company on Twitter if you haven't yet. The link's there in his bio to get all his shirts, all his gear. Everything is fucking phenomenal. So we're stoked to be able to talk to you, man. Of course, we'll be happy to take you on and talk to you any other fucking time. We can see you in February if you'd like to fucking kick it sometime in February, but y'all make sure to go follow our boy and buy some of that shit up.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Stay tuned because there's big things happening. We can't talk about it, but big things happening.
It's going to be sick, y'all. It's fucking sick. All right, man. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Appreciate
All
you,
right, boys. Y'all have a good one. Thank you so much.
Man.